John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. I love testing brand new broadheads that are hitting the market, especially when they have some innovative, kind of never been done before designs to them. And that's what I'm going to be testing here today. It's the Havok, H-A-V-O-K, 150 grain broadhead. So let's zoom on in here. We're going to check it out, go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put it to the test using all of my regimen for 2023. And for a detailed description of that, check out the video that I did earlier this year. It's called 2023 Broadhead Test Process, that just goes through all the different tests, why I do them, how I evaluate them, and compile the score and so forth. That'll help you understand it. And you can also check out the score sheet that's in the description right below this video. And it goes through some of the ways that some of the reasons that I do the tests that I do and how I measure them, and has the scores for each of the broadheads and how they do in each of the tests right there in the body of that description. And I'm going to be using my Bowtech CP28 set at 72 pounds. I'm using Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shots, and then I'm using the Bishop Fat Eliminator for the really hard impact stuff. Let's zoom on in and check out this Havok 150 grain. Here's a good look at the head, and man, there's all kinds of different unique features going on here. So let me explain as much as I can. First of all, it's machined out of a single piece of S7 tool steel. And S7, many of you know, is a really good steel to use for a broadhead application because of its incredible impact resistance. And it's brought to a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. Now, I say machined out of a single piece of steel. That includes the bleeders, and that's pretty unique. These bleeders aren't added on. They're not like an extra little blade you slide in there. They're part of that one piece of steel, and they're pretty stout there as well. Now, some other unique things about it, the initial cut, okay, about the half an inch, the first half inch, is a single bevel cut on both of these sides. It's a nice single bevel at a 35-degree angle, and that's just going to help you help generate some good rotation right off the bat for bone breaching. Then it switches to a double bevel after that, and that double bevel angle is 30 degrees on each side, so a 60-degree angle to that double bevel. That, they say, is just going to aid in cutting. So you benefit from the single bevel in the rotation and the bone breaching, then the double bevel just for cutting the tissue and cutting through the rest of that bone. And then these bleeders are pretty stout and thick, and they too are sharpened, and that's to a double bevel. Now, in terms of resharpening, okay, there's going to be some challenges to it because of the different angles, but I think it'd be fairly easy to get like a diamond plate. I'd use a diamond plate by Stay Sharp Guide, and you can get the 35-degree angle right there, and then get this 30-degree angle, and then for this little bleeder, you can just get a diamond plate in there and sharpen that up. It's not going to get as sharp as these other blades, but it'll still aid in cutting. You might also want to look into the Stay Sharp Guide C kit. That might be really useful in sharpening these various edges. But I imagine Stay Sharp Guide might be coming out with a specific sharpener for this head in the future. We'll just have to see about that. Okay, now the dimensions, the thickness is 0.067 inches thick, which is nice and thick, especially for such a high quality tool steel. I imagine it's going to be really durable. The cutting diameter of the main blade here is 1 inch, and then of the bleeders is 1/4 inch, and that's just to open up the wound channel a bit to allow the arrow shaft to glide through even easier, and it's going to aid in bone breaching as well. The overall length is 1 1/4 inches, and you can see that the blades are cut back here. That's just to save on material, so there's less surface area, allowing it to fly better and penetrate better. So a lot of cool things to check out in this broadhead. I'm eager to put it to the test and see how it performs. It took 175 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 8 inches. It took an additional 50 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 62 layers. It rotated 30 degrees at 12 inches. It's in perfect shape after 3 shots through the MDF. And here it is after 2 shots through the steel plate, and you can see that it held up very well. There's a tiny bit of edge chatter at the very tip of one of the sides, the upper side of the main blade. And then you can see the holes. It made really nice holes there, even though it's kind of a shorter hole with just a 1-inch cutting diameter. That cross cut and the rotation makes it a decent wound channel just the same. Here it is after all the durability tests, and man, it held together very well, and such is to be expected with this S7 tool steel, and machined out of a single piece like that, as well as its geometric design. It's just built for toughness. But you can see the edges held together really well. There was a little bit of edge chatter in the steel plate, but you can't even really see it after going into the concrete. But it held together very well, penetrated very deeply into the concrete, and still spins very true. So what'd you think of the Havok? Man, it did really well, right? I mean, it flew well. It had great sharpness, edge retention, penetration, durability, kind of checked all the boxes. The only drawback with it is it has a pretty narrow cut, okay, like a 1-inch cutting diameter of the main blades. And so that can be a real advantage if you're going after a really big animal where penetration is the thing you're going after the most. This is something that's really worth considering, and it has the durability to really breach bone of those heavy animals as well. So if that's what you're going after especially, this is a head really worth checking out and considering. So go through the score sheet there and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a really good fit for you. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score as well as the corresponding Lust grade.